Good day, ladies and gentlemen, your gun doctor here. I know we've all been looking for a new Krig, the perfect Krig replacement. What could be our Krig? Honestly, the Krig is still fantastic, but I've been diving into a lot of gun builds to kind of see what feels the best no recoil beamer for me. How can I just clap jimmies the hardest? And I see myself returning to an old friend that not every one of you has unlocked, and you might remember what it is. It is the Bruen MK9, because surprisingly, the Bruen obviously always had a great time to kill, still has a great time to kill, and can obviously keep up with the Stoner 2 time to kill wise. The good thing about the Bruen is it has this 160 mag thingy, where it just goes clack clack reload. No other gun can compete with that in the LMG category for the people that are annoyed by it. Now though, the question is, how do you get this maximum no recoil? Because the build on the Bruen is relatively standard. You go for the summit, you go for the monolithic suppressor, and you usually go for the commando foregrip. And then the only thing that changes on the Bruen is the optic, but the optic does make significant changes, especially also with field of view stuff. For example, if you're playing this on an AT field of view, you could play this with a Corp Combat hollow sight and a blue dot, and that would actually be good already. Because the zoom of the Corp Combat hollow sight on 80 field of view just feel almost like you're using a VLK optic. Also, on recommendations from Mr. True Game Data, the Scout Combat optic would be a thing, the Canted Hybrid, and the VLK itself. What we're going to do in this video is we're going to be testing if all of these or which one of these does really turn it into the no recoil we would like to see. The good thing about the Scout Combat optic, for example, is you have quite a variety of different sights. A lot of people use the T-pose. I've been stuck with using the Blue V recently. We're going to go back to the T-pose at some point. But now let's dive in and see which one really makes it no recoil, and do we maybe have to swap one of the foregrips to give it an even better no recoil feeling? Could occasionally be the Tac Laser even better, because the added aiming stability really reduces a lot of shake. That is what we're here for. That is what we're going to test. Also, for the people wondering that haven't seen the Bruen TTK in a while, it is 46, 31, 31, 31. So that's 8 shot to kill for 559 in the first 26 meters. And then you have 559 also still on the range. It's the same with 42, 28, 28, 28. Also 2 headshots, 6 body shots. Could you get it down to a 7 shots to kill? That would require you to hit 42, 42, 42, 42. I think it's 4 headshots and then 1, 2, 3. That would be a 7 shot to kill with 4 headshots. That will not most likely happen in 100 meters. In 50 meters, it could most certainly happen because the gun really beams. Still, most of the time you're going to hit the 2.6. The good thing is the 6 can be wherever on the body, so you could hit 3 wherever on the body. As long as you hit 4 headshots, you could get that low time to kill. This is the standard Bruen we're used to. VLK optic, everything, 60 round mag. You zoom in, you have a good ADS time, you shoot it. It's very stable. I mean, you know, the standard shake that the Stoner now has, the Bruen just has almost non-existent shake. It shoots just really straight, as you can see here. Obviously, in comparison to the Stoner just shoots like this, right? The Bruen has a little bit of a left grill, but that's just something to get used to. I mean, it's not like that you can't shoot the Bruen on one spot the whole time, right? So that is really the no recoil feeling on the Bruen. But this is with the VLK optic. And with the VLK optic, you can see that there's some bullet spacing left and right, like a little bit here, a little bit here. So can other scopes help you a little bit more with that to kind of reduce that bullet shaking to make it even better? Now, as I said, we're going to be trying out the Scout Combat optic next, which has some of the best recoil properties, plus zoom, plus then field of view kicking in on effective field of view. Just feeling in general very great. Thank you, TGG, for testing that. The sight you can use on the Scout Combat optic, again, you have various options. It works really well. The sight moves with a Scout Combat optic. That's something to get used to. Like, as you can see here, it just gets moves with it. So if you're spraying at someone walking, just that you know. But if you're now shooting the gun on a distance, it does have also the shake that the VLK optic has, but the whole thing for me feels just way less recoily. And if we're now also looking at the bullet spacing here, the bullets feel just way closer than they did before over here. And it is absolutely easy to just keep this on point beaming though, even easier than before. I mean, you saw how that worked out for me with the other side. But this one is just way easier to keep. It's almost like that you have less vertical and horizontal recoil while using the Scout Combat Optic over the VLK Optic. I'm just really like trying to spray this one tile here, and you're just staying on target, on target, on target. Very easy, over and over and over again with every single shot. Now, if we would lower our field of view to 80, yeah, this is 80 field of view, and you're actually looking at what you have here, the zoom is really substantial already with something like a blue dot. Like you just go really close. The VLK Optic doesn't offer you that much more in comparison, and you can just beam this away, absolutely no recoil. I mean, this wouldn't matter at what distance we'd be planning to shoot that, but you just could keep it on already with a Crib Comet holo sight, especially if you have the blue dot. Someone's back here, no problem. You're just keeping on, keeping on, keeping on, keeping on. And these are just the sides. We still haven't optimized on the foregrip yet. That would also help us reduce things even more to make things potentially even more smooth. Now, there's also one option that I do tremendously love, and that is the Canted Hybrid. The only downside of the Canted Hybrid can be the ADS time. Obviously, you can change this scope tremendously well to just a normal T-pose, and then here you would have the weird ass yellow dot. But with the Canted Hybrid, you do also have the wibble wobble in the sight itself, which is okay because again, that's the same you have in the Stoner and such when it's no actual recoil. But the thing is, if you're then just trying to keep in on one position, it's just so smooth, it's no problem. And with the Canted Hybrid, if you're looking at it, the bullet spacing from left and right is just the lowest with this Canted Hybrid. I mean, it's a run between the Canted Hybrid and the Scout Combat Optic. Both obviously do have a very low bullet spacing left to right, but I would almost say that the Canted Hybrid is the best of all of these. I do personally love playing the Canted Hybrid. Worst case scenario, you could do this, but you're not gonna do. It also has the best magnification. You can just see on such a huge ass distance. And again, it's not really hard to beam with this. Anyone running anywhere, especially not when you're mounted too. Now, going back to the Scout Combat side, you could also put on a aiming stability stock because the maximum of aiming stability usually helps a little bit with the shake of the gun just from a shooting feeling. I mean, in this case, you still have the shaky going on. We pretty much put the commando foregrip off. And even without the commando foregrip, the bullet spacing is really clutched together. There's no big difference in the bullet spacing, as you can see there. They're all together. So the commando foregrip ain't doing that much. And the gun just really shoots itself really nice and smooth. I mean, instead of putting the aiming stability stock on, you could also, instead of the commando foregrip, just then play a Tac Laser. Because again, the gun is already very beamy in itself. And with the Tac Laser now, you gain a substantial portion of ADS time. I mean, look at this. This is a world different to what we had before. And the gun itself, if you're trying to beam it here, again, at a tile, I mean, obviously we have a wonky sight now. It is absolutely easy to keep that on point. I mean, yes, the commando foregrip does help some, but you could also squeeze out a bonus of ADS time, especially the more you get used to this. I guess the higher you field of view, the more you want to have the Tac Laser. Then again, if we're looking at all the grips, the best grip you could probably be playing with is the commando foregrip most of the time because it reduces also the ADS time the least. And then you do have the chance to either go for a ranger or for an operator on top of that too. So both of these could be an option to put on, but they will increase your ADS time. That is something to keep in mind. And with the Ranger foregrip, you do notice the ADS time is worse, right? That is something obviously the Bruen will have a problem always with against the Krig. All in all, the scope shake is the same. I mean, I wouldn't like argue that the scope shake feels in any way different, but the recoil here, especially the left and right recoil, everything seems a little bit more clustered. I mean, trying then to now shoot this a bit more precise on point, it's really easy to hold it there. I mean, you just got to get used to that the Bruen pulls off to the left. That's like your only downside. But apart from that, you're really off good to go. So when it comes down to the foregrip, it's more or less private preference. If you don't mind losing a substantial portion of ADS time due to the grip, go for it. If you want to have more ADS time with the Tac Laser, go for it. And now last but not least, let me show you the operator. All of these made the Bruen incredibly easy to shoot. I mean, again, here, you're looking at this. It's just beaming. And even less recoil than would pretty much the Ranger foregrip had to offer. You're trying to keep it on point, nothing. Does the gun even move? I mean, yes, you have the scope shake, which obviously significantly feels less with the right reticle. Now having this dot reticle is obviously a little bit unfortunate. I mean, you do just see a very nice bullet cluster. It even clusters the bullets so much here that it seems like you're getting a lot of left and right recoil, but it's just pretty much that the recoil just shrunk so much together that you do have everything there together now. I mean, trying then to shoot again one of these tiny ass windows and keep it on spot. And you do notice, do I even have to make an effort? No, I don't. I can just beam it away. Is the Krig more no recoil? Yes. Is this gun very close and perfectly up to go? Yes. You'll be having such a good time with the Bruen too, if you manage then to unlock it. Final builds on the Bruen, I go with the Scout Combat Optic. I do love the Canted Hybrid, but let's be real about this here. Most fights happen 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 meters. If I go back in all my games, in all my videos, if you go through the channel, you'll notice that the fights that matter, the fights where it was life or death, 20, 40, 60, 80 meters. That's where they're happening. Yes, you can beam on 100. Yes, you can beam on 200. Yes, you can beam on 300. But these fights don't matter. They're never the fights that you're like, oh my goodness, I'm going to die here. No. You're going to go behind a cover. You're going to move in. You're good to go. The 20, 40, 60, 80 meter fights, that's where it matters, or the inside the building fights. And that's where the Scout Combat Optic feels like the best compromise between those two. Even the Corp Combat Holo side feels good for that, with the XRK Summit Monolithic Espresso 60 round mag. And then here again, personal preference. With the Commando foregrip, if you're a very aggressive player, you have one of the best ADS times. If you're not, just putting the Commando off and play Tac Laser. That would mean that you're never going to beam like the long ranges. But even if you're going to beam the long ranges, you're just going to mount the gun and you're fine to go. Yes, then with the Ranger foregrip over the Commando, you do have a substantial lower recoil. It just is easier to control on the vertical portion, but the vertical portion should be easy to control for you anyways. And with the operator foregrip, you have to put in the least effort. You have the worst ADS time, but you have to put in the least effort to just beam very precise and good up within. So I would say this is like a triple trinity of just personal preference. I mostly do play the Commando foregrip because I don't just want to scuff my ADS time even more. And that's really the good thing about this LMG. It has a great ADS time with a good weapon swap. And that's the most important part that I haven't even mentioned yet. When you're playing this gun, you don't have to play empt. I don't play empt. I always play tracker because this has an AR weapon swap and you can play it then with anything you want because you swap like an AR and you don't have to care about using empt to then whip it out fast like the PKM, for example. That is a huge up on the 60 round mag, and that significantly makes the Bruen a better gun. Ladies and gentlemen, what are your thoughts? Could the Bruen be the Krig replacement for you? Could the Bruen be the thing that you would be playing over the Krig now? Because it is an absolute beamer. I've been trying it in Iron Trials, and in Iron Trials, you know that being on target is extremely important. When playing together with Mr. Jack Frax, you'll definitely be seeing one of those games, and it has been an absolute blast. I've been shredding people so fast, I've just even wondered, why am I shredding them so fast? Probably been hitting those 4 headshots, easy peasy lemon squeezy. It was really nice to play the Bruen once again, and it feels like a very good replacement for the Kilo for me. The PKM is definitely, in comparison, way more recoiling and way more random in the recoil because it has the huge left and right bounce that you can't control. What do you think? Give me your feedback on the Bruen. Let's see what you get in the comments up and coming. Also, did you enjoy the short that we put up? So we do the full length video and then we do a short of the video because essentially not everyone has the time to watch through the full video and some just need the information extremely condensed. And it really worked. I mean, yesterday we had 30% more views in total due to the short. So thanks for that. Wish you a great, fantastic day. Take care of yourself. Don't forget to subscribe to find your way back for more. Off to the 200K.